Hello, friends, and welcome to the weekly moon update where we talk about the moon energy and a little bit of astrology for the current week. Today's video, we are talking about March 3rd through the 9th, and we just had our new moon in Pisces last week, which hopefully was very refreshing and rejuvenating for you. The Pisces season is about letting the water energy kind of cleanse and clear and release everything from the winter, stuck energy, things that you've integrated over the winter, and get us ready to kind of step out back into the world when spring arrives at the end of this month. So hopefully you found that cleansing and release. Sometimes that is an emotional release, so you're not alone if you had to shed some tears over that new moon. And we've got a lot coming ahead astrologically in March. March is going to be the most chaotic month astrologically of the year. And so I think we really need to hold on to this Pisces energy. Like, Pisces season in general is really a refreshing kind of energy. It's that cleansing and release that gets us ready for spring. And it's about getting excited for the things that you want to do this year and really like believe in your dreams. But we have so much chaotic energy happening this month that it really kind of dampens that Pisces energy that I personally really love. So I'm hoping that we can hold on to that Pisces new moon energy throughout this month, because for those of you that have been following me for a while, when we have crazy things happening like retrogrades and big conjunctions or big shifts or big planetary shift, I like to focus on the things that are working and that are maybe more positive aspect. And that Pisces new moon and that Pisces dreamy and believing kind of energy is what I feel like we are supposed to hold on to this month. Believing that the obstacles that we might face, the challenges that we might be looking at, or the struggles that we might be dealing with externally or internally are going to help us shift for our highest good. Once we get past these things, it should be better, and holding on to that belief and holding on to those dreams and holding on to those goals, despite the challenges that you might be facing this month, is what I think Pisces can teach us. But anyways, for this week, we have a first quarter week, and let's just jump into it. Or we have a first quarter moon on Thursday. So that means the beginning of the week is a waxing crescent moon, because it was almost the new moon was on Thursday of last week. And then after the first quarter, we have a waxing gibbous moon. So it's just going to continue to increase, and then we'll have our full moon next week. So a waxing crescent moon is still so close to the new moon that like there's still low energy here. So kind of a slow start to the beginning of the week with our waxing crescent moon. But I feel like once we pass the first quarter, that's when we start to build momentum. And I mean, we've got 50% energy here, and it's just going to continue to increase until the full moon next week. And just a heads up, the full moon is a lunar eclipse. So it's the first eclipse of 2025. And that's a lunar eclipse in Virgo. Just a heads up about that upcoming moon. So right after the new moon, we switched into Aries over the weekend. So we're kind of starting out Monday with Aries energy, which I really love, because Aries is literally spring. We're about to, after Pisces season, we're going to enter Aries season. on the spring equinox on the first day of spring. And I mean, Aries is all about like getting that fire started, jump starting. It's about those first sprouts that burst through the ground in the spring, those first buds that we're starting to see on the trees, especially if you live in the South like me. I've been worried because right now, this time of year is like we'll have really warm days, like in the 60s, and then it'll drop down to the 20s. Like I think Saturday evening, we're supposed to drop down to 25 when with a 64-degree day. That's like a 50-degree difference. So I always worry about the buds that are already out and the daffodils are starting to sprout up from the ground. So I always worry, like, if it gets below 30, are you guys going to freeze and die? So Aries is that burst of energy that comes, it's like the first thing to jump out of the ground when spring is here. So it's a nice way to start off a week. However, like I said earlier, it's a waxing crescent moon, so it is kind of a slow jump off of the starting line. And we will be in Aries pretty much all day Monday, and the moon will start to transition at 5. It's a 5-hour transition. We won't enter Taurus until 10:34. So when we wake up Tuesday morning, we will be in Taurus energy, which again is slow moving. Usually Aries is like, jumping off the starting line, and Taurus just kind of like sets the pace to something that is more sustainable, and you're able to do that long distance run instead of the sprint. So Taurus energy, Venus energy, I'm really tapped into Taurus energy for Tuesday and Wednesday because, like I said in the intro, I like to focus on the things that are working. And Taurus is a sign that's ruled by Venus, and Venus is going to be retrograde for this entire month until I think the middle of April. It might be the first week of April that it goes direct, but when we're redefining and restructuring our relationships and revisiting the connections that we have with people, the interactions that we have with people, I like a Taurus moon to kind of help me come back to my heart because, relationships are so sticky and complicated and people's feelings get hurt. And when our feelings are hurt, we tend to kind of react instead of like actually logically think something through. And so I feel like a Taurus moon can help ground us ground and center us in our heart, and to like lead from a place of compassion versus you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back, which is very petty and not compassionate and not empathetic and not serving anybody's highest good, really. So I don't know. I've just been we've all been dreading this Venus retrograde in Aries, and I just think that when the moon transverses through either Taurus or Libra, which is also ruled by Venus, I think that gives us an opportunity to kind of like come back to center, to take a few breaths and like act from a place of love versus hurt, because the moon rules our emotions. So I think a Taurus moon helps us kind of ground and ground our emotions so that they're not like all over the place, which is especially important in Pisces season because water moves, it flows, it doesn't have any boundaries. So that's when we don't like keep our emotions in check, when we don't keep our water energy in check, it can flow all over the place and get on people that had nothing to do with the situation. So I feel like Taurus kind of helps put that Pisces in a container and make it more manageable instead of feeling overwhelming. So we will be in Taurus all day Tuesday and Wednesday, and then very early in the morning, we move into Gemini at 1:44 a.m. Thursday morning. So while Taurus might help us ground and center, it's also kind of a little bit serious and stern and a little bit rigid. And then Gemini comes in with this air energy that just allows for more free flowing and movement. It's like the breath of fresh air. It reminds you to breathe. It reminds you to lighten things up a little bit, while Taurus and earth energy can be kind of like heavy and dense. So Gemini is playful. It helps us, and it's the twin sign. So it helps us see both sides of things. And again, I'm really focusing on this Venus retrograde, is that like Venus helps us see not just the different perspectives of all the different qualities that we have within, but also understanding like other like other people reflect and mirror this duality to us. And it just helps us, again, with an air sign and wisdom, it helps us like make sense of things. It helps us define things and logically think about things. And specifically with Gemini, it is like the other side, the other perspective, which is important when we are taking a look at our relationships and our interactions with other people. And again, this can also be like reflection of the duality within yourself as well, which is also something that I think Venus retrograde can bring up for us as well, is like your relationship with yourself. So, I mean, depending on what is happening for you in your personal life and your relationship dynamics, and some of it, for some of us, it is going to be relationships with other people. For some of us, it's going to be a relationship with ourselves, which is certainly something that Gemini can help us with. And again, that is the first quarter moon. So hopefully we're starting to like build momentum and kind of step out of that dreamy Pisces new moon energy. And kind of nice. I love having Gemini Fridays. It reminds you that like you can work hard and you can play hard. So that it reminds us to take a break, take it easy, and hopefully jumping into the weekend with some playful energy. But then we have Cancer coming in at 6:04 a.m. Saturday morning. So bright and early, we can schedule our massage appointments Saturday morning. You know, take it easy, have a lazy Saturday and Sunday. Do things that take care of yourself with our mothering Cancer energy. So to recap the week, we are starting off with fire, which is a really wonderful way to start off our week. Then we're slowing down a little bit through the middle of the week. Then we have air at the end of the week and closing out the week with water again. And I say again because we had our Pisces our Pisces moon, which is a water sign. And I just always feel like there's an emphasis on like when we have we're in a water moon cycle in a water sun season. I feel like that element is just emphasized throughout the entire month. So when we pass water again, I feel like there's just more emphasis. I think you feel it more when we have, it's like double water versus last month we had an air moon cycle. And so like, I don't know. I just think there's more emphasis on whatever season and cycle we're in. There's more emphasis on that element as we transverse through all of the elements throughout the moon cycle. So I've been feeling like we're going to need some like some hand holding this month because it is a very challenging astrological month. So I think I'm going to be working with angel cards all month. So the first one that we have for this week is Zadkiel. And his message is, be the change that you seek. Your intentions to live with meaning and purpose have led you to where you are today. Where you are is where you are needed. But don't forget to be a light of healing wherever you go. The changes that you are seeking at this time must begin with you. Even if you are facing difficult circumstances, ask yourself how you can shine your light more wholly and fully. The activation of this card is thank you, Zadkiel, for helping me change within myself first before seeking change elsewhere. I feel like this is a very significant message for not only this week, but also for this month. Change starts with us, and we are going through this big shift collectively, but we have to do the work ourselves as well. And I'm talking to Allison too. I'm not saying I'm nowhere near having my shit together. And I'm struggling right along with all of you. And I constantly try. That's why I have to cancel stream so much, because if I'm not in a good place, I don't feel comfortable doing work for other people. If I'm not energetically okay myself, I'm not going to like put that energy into your reading or your massage or any energy work I might be doing, because I have to take care of myself first. It's been a hard lesson, but okay, so there's additional messages that go along with this card. Zedekiel, his name means righteousness of God, is the archangel who brings emotional balance and helps transmute any negative experience into a focus for love and learning. How perfect. So the divine counterpart of holy amethyst, he governs a spiritual energy called the violet flame. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was just thinking about the violet flame. A space that we can visit in meditation and prayer, and an energy that we can invoke to help us release from our energy fields anything that has been unsettling or traumatic. He is an angel of justice alongside Michael and Raguel. Extra guidance of this card is spiritual law teaches us that when we skip past a lesson, we have to experience it elsewhere. True that. With this card, angels encourage you to see that this is such a pivotal moment for you. Don't skip past anything you know needs your attention, for you will only slow your progress in the months to come. Call in your angels and ask for the strength and courage to be who you need to be in order to feel whole and free. And again, the activation is, thank you, Zedekiel, for helping me change within myself first before seeking change elsewhere. Very good messages for this week. Okay, so our chakra card is a heart chakra card, and it is acceptance. Acceptance comes in knowing that where you are in this moment is exactly where you need to be. Isn't that what this card said also? Where you are is where you are needed. Oh my gosh, they have the same message. That's so crazy. Where you are is exactly where you need to be. Nothing to change, nothing to fix, nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Your heart chakra is the center of your energetic system, and so your heart and your love are the center of your highest consciousness. Once you center yourself in love and allow it to be the fountain that hydrates your life, you can show others how to move from their love center as well. So again, this is a heart chakra card. The crystal they recommend is rose quartz, and the herb is jasmine. Jasmine has been coming up a lot lately, I feel like. I'm gonna have to start wearing, I have a jasmine perfume. I was gonna say cologne. Okay, and our crystal card is pyrite, a glittering stone of possibility and potential. It reminds you of your self-worth and encourages you to shine in your power. Pyrite activates the solar plexus chakra card, symbolizing action, vitality, and willpower. It also enlivens your self-image and connects you to the warmth of the sun. The affirmation is, I shine in all areas of my life. So when I pulled these cards and recognized that we were having a heart and solar plexus chakra, while all of the chakras like correlate to each other, and while I feel like all of the chakras kind of have an even more specific connection to the heart, like I feel like the heart connects to all of the different chakras in a very unique way, even though all of the chakras like we need all of them to be in alignment and activated. But I feel like the heart is, I mean, the heart is the center of all of that. So I feel like the heart has a very specific connection to all of the different chakras, and they kind of don't work without the other. Like you can't have confidence if you're not loving yourself, and if you're not loving yourself, you're not going to have confidence and self-esteem. So it's just, I don't know, the heart and has a very unique connection to all of the different chakras, and I feel like you kind of can't have one without the other. And I notice that when I do energy work on people, I mostly just do like 9 chakra clearings and balancing, and I always do an assessment of like which ones I need to focus on, and say I'll like like say they need extra work on their third eye and their root or something like that. And I'll go and clear the root and clear the third eye, and then I'll go and do like I do an assessment of all 9 chakras before I end the session, and then it's like the heart is blocked, and I'm like, it's because I think everything goes through the heart. So now I just know that if I'm focusing on root and third eye, that I have to do the heart as well at the end, because it's like they all go through the heart, it seems like. And they kind of jump around. I mean, sometimes like you have a solar plexus imbalance because of a root imbalance, and you can't just work on the root, you have to work on like both of them. Like they're all connected. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here and I don't know why. So acceptance, accept just like where you are right now, because we are all in the middle of this transformation. And if you're struggling and if you're finding it challenging and you're just not where you want to be yet, like you will get there. And having that resistance or doubt or like negative self-talk is just going to have you struggling and meeting more resistance. So acceptance is the key to just like, I'm struggling right now, and that's just it is what it is. Like this is what's happening. And I find that the more we relax into that acceptance is when you're going to start moving forward and making those transformations. Because if you just continue to like bang your head up against this resistance and like, why can't I get through this? Why is this so challenging? It's just you're beating your head up against a wall and you're not moving forward. So just accepting that like this is where I am right now. This is where we are. It's not going to change until we let go of the control. So, if you are struggling, know that you are not alone. I am right there with you pretty much every morning. Right there struggling with you. So, if you need extra help this week, call on Zedekiel. Thank Zedekiel for helping you accept where you are and for, I think, just like admitting that, accepting that, and like this Zedekiel card says about like being the change, like because I think we kind of turn outwards also, like, well, I'm not where I want to be, but it's because everyone else out there is like doing everything wrong. Like we have to accept, we have to take responsibility for our part in our lives and what we have manifested. And it's a really hard pill to swallow. But thanks, Ezekiel, for helping you be the change that you want to see in the world. It's one of my favorite quotes. And I hope you have a good week. I hope that I always feel so much better around the first quarter and start to get that momentum going again. So I hope you are too. Work with rose quartz or pyrite this week for your heart chakra and your dear solar plexus chakra. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon. And what did I do with the cards? How do I, oh. Like, how do I lose things when I haven't even like gotten up or moved? Oh my gosh, I haven't put the moon phases in here. Where are we?